All right, we are live. What's going on, Steve? How are you?
I'm gonna be like calm today because you always
Okay.
always call me out. I'm amazing, Katie. How are you?
I am wonderful, Steve. I am actually very excited and also just had some caffeine because I'm going to an event this evening. So I'm very excited to welcome this week's guest. He's originally from the Northeast, currently lives in Texas, the great state of Texas. Some of the things I like about him are his wife, Pawn, his daughter, Alice, their soon to be renovated bus. Um,
That's nothing to
No,
do with
no. All kidding aside, I'm super excited to welcome this week's guest. He is a great father and husband. He's an awesome real estate agent. He is well known in the industry for creating community, not only with his clients and personal clients and sphere, but also in the real estate industry as a whole, especially around video, marketing, and content creation. He's also a U.S. Air Force veteran, lover of Disney, and makes damn good videos. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Tim Macy.
Yeah.
Man, I've been on a couple of these things. That is hands down the best intro I've ever gotten. And now I'm worried I got to like follow it up and live up to that intro.
Well, I mean, I started
you
it with
do.
your
You
wife and
do.
kid. So,
Yeah.
there's that.
That was amazing. Tim, thank you so much. We know how incredibly busy you are. And so we really appreciate you carving out some time to share with us and impart to the audience, some of your great wisdom. So everything real estate, everything personal, there is nothing we do not want to share. So this is going to be a solid 30 minutes. So let's get right into it, Tim. So for the small fraction of the population that doesn't know who Tim Macy is, who is Tim Macy?
Pretty much exactly who Katie Day just said I was. That's it, man. I mean, I will say, I think fun is a priority for us, whether that be with our clients, our family, or anything else. I definitely think we live a life we don't take too seriously, and I think we enjoy it a pretty good amount because we do that.
Which is funny to me. And I think one of the things I want to talk about today is like, the find your tribe and find your people, right? Because like the Tim I know, like sometimes you wear a polo or like fishing shirt, right? But like normally you're in a t-shirt, you're like pretty chill guy. So I was Googling Tim just to be like, what do I not know about Tim Macy? Like
I did it too, actually.
I feel like I know Tim pretty well. Like,
Yeah.
We've obviously been
found the
connected. And I found this picture. Actually,
Yeah.
let me see if I can find it and share my screen. So we'll keep talking. But you Google Tim Macy realtor, and I find this picture of him in like a suit and tie, and I'm like, who is this man? Like,
yeah,
who?
I think that was when I first got my license. Or like maybe within that first year I got my license, and I felt like if I was going to be a leader, I needed to have a suit and tie.
There we go.
Yeah, that's literally my old bio, old picture, old brokerage. I mean, yeah, you got all sorts of stuff on there.
But I just look at that smile. Like,
yeah,
look at that tie.
Look at the tie. Look at the blazer.
Man, what a guy. What a guy. Anyways, so all right, we can kind of skip the bio, whatever. Let's kind of just dig in. Go
Tim,
ahead.
do you take it as a massive compliment when people come up to you and say, you know what? You're not like a typical realtor. Like you must get that all the time. Like you're not like a typical realtor. Like what would you say is the difference between a typical realtor and a real realtor?
All right, I'm going to use a word I hate using, but it connects with why we run the business the way we do, which is, the influencer economy, right? And it's like my wife, who Katie mentioned, she likes a lot more than she likes me, which it tends to be the thing everybody says, our clients, our friends. I don't know what's going on there, but I will say, like, she buys things from influencers all the time. Like, hey, where the heck that new shirt come from? Oh, influencer on Instagram. I bought it. And, I think that when you talk about the typical real estate person, you're thinking of a salesperson. You're thinking of a person that is in sales. And I'm not in sales. I'm in service, right? I'm in education. I'm in, consulting, whatever you want to call it. I'm not in sales. And I think that is what the big difference is. I don't prospect, right? Like we have people that call us from all the things we do. People refer us business because like people think of us as a resource, a service, not a salesperson. And when I put the tie on and when I put the jacket on and when I thought I had to have a nice car, right? Like that's all sales. That's all sales stuff. And there are great real estate salespeople out there, not to knock anybody. It's just not how we do it.
Well, I say let's dig in on that one a little bit more, because there's one thing I know that Tim says a lot, and you know, we're in a lot of different groups and whatever together, and like one of them is like, you're not a cold caller, right? Like you don't prospect. And I think that everyone's like, you know, you got to get into real estate, you got to hit the phones, right? And obviously what you do isn't something someone's going to jump into and have the success that you have today, because you've put a lot of time and effort and energy into it. But like, let's talk a little bit about kind of like, I'm getting tactical quickly. Sorry, Steve.
Yeah, I love
let's talk a little bit about like lead pillars and like, okay, as you said, like business comes to you, but what's the work you've put in to get there?
Look, I think we just left a listing appointment, right? I got here, turned the thing on, Pon went to go get our kid, and I'm on with you guys from a listing appointment. And I was on the phone when I got there. And so Pon went in first. I finished my phone call. I went in after. What horrible service, right? Like, what's wrong with me being on the phone when I got a listing appointment? I went in, her and Pon are chatting it up. And you know, she's like, I love you guys. I'm watching Tim all the time. And I know he's busy and I see him. And then Pon sends me sweet text messages all the time. And she just makes my day every time she does. And it really is that. Like, we just sent out some Starbucks barcodes to people today. Like, we put $200-300 on a Starbucks barcode and we just send it to our people. Pon sent crumble cookies, which are amazing, to 2 clients of ours that just moved here, and they both had problems with their dogs when they moved here, which is like awful and sad. And she was like, you know what? I'm sending them some cookies. Honestly, like, we just love on our people as best we can, and the phone rings, you know? And I think that's what we do.
Yeah, but Tim, did you, like, obviously, like, correct me if I'm wrong, you didn't have that vision day one of real estate? Or did you?
I got out of the military, right? I was in the Air Force. And Katie, I think you know me enough to know that, like, I'm skeptical, right? Like, I'm naturally skeptical at things. I'm like, all right, you know, especially in real estate, because everybody walks around and says they're, you know, the most successful thing out. And you're like, meh, are you? And so, you know, I've always had a radar and I've always been skeptical. And so, you know, one of those things I've always heard is like, your network is your net worth. And I'm like, this guy's full of crap. He's just trying to sell me a course. But the more I realize it, it's true. Like, I am friends with you guys. I'm friends with other people, and I'm just have this network, and I've built it over time. And now it brings me business. But the thing that the Zig Ziglar thing is like, help 1 million people and you'll be a millionaire type thing. And it's like, man, it's tough when you're a new agent to think about it like this. And when you're a new agent, you shouldn't be. You should be doing open houses. You should be knocking on doors. You should be finding a lead wherever the heck you can find one.
Yeah.
But in the process, you just have to know, if you just take great care of people and you love on them, any chance you get to love on them, like Katie sent us custom koozies the other day, right? Like, just make people's day and be competent. You don't even have to be an expert. Be competent. But people like you and you're competent, they're going to look to reciprocate. Like, COVID hit, so we couldn't do events, but we did a drive-in movie theater event for Christmas. Kids had not been able to do pictures with Santa. We said, screw that, it's Texas, we're doing pictures with Santa. You know, like, we did all this amazing stuff, and now we have a group of clients that are just looking for the opportunity to give back to us somehow, right? They just, like, we love on them so much. They're like, man, I can't wait until I know somebody that wants to buy a house because, you know, Pon sent me cookies. We went to their job. Like, I can't wait to send him business. And that's what we do. I don't call my sphere. Like, I just don't. And we just figure out meaningful ways to love on our people. And yeah, that brings us business. But like you said, Steve, totally by accident. Like, I mean, this is what we were doing. It wasn't until like a year or two ago I figured out maybe we should put some systems in place around this, because this generates this business. It's the same thing with videos, right? Like, I just make stupid videos. That's just, I've been doing it since I was in high school. And then I realized, oh crap, this actually brings me business. I should probably tweak it and actually, direct it a little.
Yeah.
So let's say, Tim, there's a brand new agent, you just have a great vibe, like great connection with that agent. Their first day with their license, how do you get them set up? They see what you do and they're like, oh man, but Tim, you make it look so easy. You don't cold call, you don't prospect. I feel like I don't have to either. How do you break
that's
through
not
that?
where I started, right? Like
Okay.
I was knocking on doors and finding owners of hoarder houses, like literally stepping over cat poop to get my first couple of deals done. Like that's where I and so I mean, if you're a new agent, you just need to have more conversations and find people that need to deal in real estate. But also as a new agent, you have to be doing two things, and I hope you guys haven't already like beat this like a dead horse over the course of your podcast. But the two most important things are, while you're hustling, right? While you're door knocking, while you're doing all that stuff, you have to be documenting it so people can follow your journey.
Love it.
Because people would call me and they'd be like, man, I see you doing all those houses. I'm like, I haven't been doing any houses. I just go to houses. You know what I mean? Like I would go to an investor meetup and I'd go to an investor meetup and I'd be like, hey, you got any deals? And he's like, yeah, actually I'm putting one under contract, tomorrow. I'd be like, cool, man, where at? Can I check it out? He's like, yeah, 123 Main Street. I'm like, all right, awesome. I'll be there. And then I'm on social, right? And I'm just checking it out. I'm like, man, this is cool. And then I take a picture at this investment property. I'm like, 123 Main Street. Yeah, it's going to be a good one. I'm not like, and people are like, man, you're so in the game. Not in anything, And then I remember, I finally got a listing. Like, don't know how the hell that happened, but finally all this stuff I was doing ends up me getting a listing, and I make a listing video about it. Right. And like every other day I'm like at the checking out my new listing. Right. I post about it like 3-4 times. And then I miraculously get another listing. And so I've got 2 listings, and I'm out doing videos of them. I'm taking pictures of them. I'm writing a post about the kitchen or something. People are like, man, you're crushing it. You're a listing machine. I'm like, yeah,
Power
I got 2
of social media.
Right? So you have to document the journey. And when you're starting out, you're insecure and you're like, document what? Like, I don't know what I'm talking about. And it's like, you know what? Go read about a 1031 exchange. Right? Like, what's a 1031 exchange? Go read about it. And then you can make a post about, hey, did you know what a 1031 exchange is? New real estate agents don't give themselves enough credit for how much they know. Right? They're like, I don't know anything. Right? You do. You know more than the general public, and you can educate and you can do stuff, bring them along for the journey. But the other point that I was on my 2-prong approach was, as you're doing this, right? Like, as you're building this business, we've got a designer that was like a partner on one of the first flips for an investor we sold, and the deal went awful. Like it was bad. We loved her designs. We tagged her on everything. I never did like, hey, check out my new listing. I was like, hey, check out my new listing by Capri's Designs. Like I wanted to shine a giant spotlight on her. We've referred her to clients for interior design. Like she's just an example of somebody that we've just loved on and been a big fan of. Like I'm a fan of our clients. Like I'm a big fan of our clients. And because of that, our clients are a fan of us. And so every relationship that you are a part of when you're getting started, those relationships are going to make the next ones, and so on and so forth.
So I've got a question for you that I think, I'm trying to think of how I want to word this. So obviously, as I was saying, like, you've created a really great community within the real estate world, right? Around content creation and video and marketing and kind of the digital space, right? Yeah. People always say like, oh, well, I don't want to be friends with realtors, right? Oh, I don't want to go hang out with realtors. We're just going to sit in a room and talk about real estate, right? Going to talk about, whatever, right? What would you say would be your, response to that, or what would be your rebuttal to that as to, why should you embrace community, not only, in your local market, but also, nationwide? Because I think you've done both.
Yeah. I learned this from boxing. I boxed since I was 7 years old. Like, stupid. My kid's almost 7. I can't imagine putting her in boxing or in questionable choices by my father, but that's a different topic.
We don't want to go down that today, but we don't have enough time.
But look, like for a fat, out of shape dad, if you took all the fat, out of shape dads and put them in a room together, I'm a world-class boxer. I'm very good at boxing. And the reason that I'm as good as I am is because I grew up with world-class boxers and they all beat my ass. But the fact is, like, there is power to being in the room, right? And if you want to be a good agent, by all means, hit the friend request button on that, on those agents. Like Katie, I would be boom, add her. Steve, boom, add him, because they have businesses that I like and I admire, right? Build those relationships. I remember I was at Summit, and I think it was 2017 or something. I don't know. It was early. I was broke. I barely had money to go to Summit. It's like back when you're sitting there like, oh, geez. Okay, I got a closing on Friday. So if I take the money from there, I can pay for part of it, right? Like you're doing realtor math to try to pay for your Summit trip. And I go to Summit and I meet Jay Glazer.
Nice.
And I'm BSing with Jay Glazer, and we're hanging out. And then, like I have him on my podcast, which again, I'm selling like crap compared to the people that I'm talking to. But I'm in the room, like in just being around those guys is what's elevated my game. Like being around those people has elevated my game. So I would say by all means, make relationships with other agents, because that's what's going to make you step your game up. I would also say just pick your relationships, and focus on making great, meaningful connections and looking for the opportunity to work with agents that you admire. Because on the same hand, there's a negative thing of like just hanging out with agents that complain and BS about stuff. Like that's a waste of time. And a lot of agents get caught in that. And you don't want to get involved in that. But connect with agents that are going to make you step your game up is a huge reason why I have anything that resembles a successful business.
That's incredible, because one of the questions, I believe we all get asked is, yeah, but you know what? So many agents follow me and I don't want agents to follow me. And I think, Tim, what you just said is bang on. You do want agents following you, and you want to follow people back that you vibe well with, because not only is it an opportunity to build an authentic connection, but there's a referral potential as well. There's a business potential as well, which is amazing. So,
and not just that, locally. I mean,
yeah.
I'll tell you what, if you are one of those agents, you're not doing well for yourself right now. And the reason I say that is, we have a buyer looking in Stone Oak. Stone Oak's a very competitive market. There's an agent that sells a lot of houses in Stone Oak, and she loves Pon and I, and she follows us, and she sees all this stuff. So when Pon picks up the phone and says, hey, what do you got coming up? She's like, here's the 4 listings we got coming up, and we would love to work with you, because we follow you and we're friends with you and all that other stuff. And so the agent relationships locally and all those people that follow us locally is paying off big time when it comes to getting deals done. I've had deals, I think it was last month, like literally they were like, hey, 3 offers all right around the same. But I told them, you guys are good people and it'd be better to work with you. I've never worked with this dude in my life. Right? Like, I don't know him. And, but you just, the powers of social media and the powers of making those good relationships with agents in your area.
Tim, have you ever been asked by another agent that you were doing a deal with if like maybe he could take you out for lunch and pick your brain for some digital or marketing strategies or anything like that?
Not really. And most of the time is because like once the topic comes up, I'll rant for like an hour. You don't have to take me to lunch.
Got it. Okay.
Like you guys know me. You get me talking about this stuff, I won't shut up.
That's crazy. Tim, what would you identify as your greatest lead pillar right now at where you are in your business?
Oh God. The broke agent would make fun of me because it's all referrals. I'm a referral-based agent. No, but I mean, I think we just got an Instagram DM for a $500,000 buyer, which for our market is pretty good. We got a DM on there from YouTube, so watch YouTube videos, follow us on Instagram. DM on Instagram tends to be the way, but that's a small percent. It's mostly agent referrals, client referrals, or it's like, hey, so-and-so mentioned you. Then I watched all your YouTube videos and your social media stuff. Like it's all one big thing,
Okay. Amazing. Tim, going back in all your years of real estate experience, what would you say would be kind of that one big mistake you made? Can
Oh,
you, is there something that you're just kind of like, oh, you can't get that off your back?
yeah, you should have prepped me. Maybe you did prep me with this question. I don't know. I didn't read the email. But yeah, I could have thought of something good here.
Should I pull that picture back up of you in your suit?
Yeah.
Do you want me to share my screen again?
No, look, the picture in the suit, look, it is what it is. I think that is definitely part of the journey, right? Like I can show up to the listing appointment with the t-shirt on and my sneakers, because I've built the business I've built. And I know, like, I'm walking in there, I don't have to sell anybody. They're ready to go.
Yeah.
And if I didn't have that, I think the t-shirt, I think the suit thing is normal. I think for me, I was in a rush to make good partnerships. And I think most of the time partnerships don't work out. And I think people want to start a team and they want to grab somebody and partner with them to do a team and all that stuff. And it's like, most of the time it's not going to work out if you do go that route. I think you need to focus on being a great agent that is just overflowing with business that you need to bring on a buyer's agent. But I think the big thing is getting ahead of yourself. And that's what I'm saying I did, right? Like I got ahead of myself a little bit. I was like, oh, I'm doing well. People like me. I could do a team. Team sounds cool. I had no idea what I was doing. I had no business trying to build a team early on. And I see that. I'm sure you guys do too. I see that as people think that is the trajectory. And that goes back to networking, connecting with a lot of agents, because there's so many different trajectories you can go. And you need to expose yourself to as many of those as possible so you can really figure out which one you identify with so you don't go down the wrong road. Because that's the biggest thing I see. And I know that I did it too. It's the biggest thing I see people doing is going down a road that doesn't fit them the best.
Okay, that's great. When you're building your team and as you're building your team, like Tim, what are some of the qualities you look for in someone that you're like, you know what, I could see us growing together?
Yeah. So one is again, knowing myself, I'm not cut out to bring new agents onto our team. We're just not. Like I don't have new agent training in place to the level that I would want for them to be working with our clients. So I do a lot of new agent training, and we bring people to the brokerage as new agents, and we provide them with a ton of stuff, and I hope they get traction. If I get to see them do deals, if I get to see them get dropped in the pool and see how they swim, right? Like I see that, then I'm looking like, hey, you know what? Jeff, I think Jeff's pretty good. I think he identifies with our culture. I think he has similar standards. I think he'd be a great fit for our team. And I think that helps out a lot because there's two things. One, I think we hope people are going to be a good fit for our team without knowing someone's going to be a good fit for a team. I think that's two different things.
Yeah.
The other thing is that, look, I think sometimes it goes back to starting a team when you're not ready. I think we go to trying to convince people to be a part of our team. Like we're selling it to them, like, hey, you're getting your license. Come on, join my team. I'm going to get some Zillow leads and da-da-da-da. And I think that you should do the opposite. You should set very high standards, have very particular things, and say, look, we have this opportunity. If you think it's a good fit for you, I'd love to talk to you about maybe doing it, but we have high standards. And setting that bar higher for team agents is going to help you out a lot in the long run.
Okay. I like that.
What else we got? Come on. 24 minutes in. You said 30. We got to get this done.
I
have 6 more minutes with him.
I always hog it so much. So Katie, you can ask the next question.
Steve, like, so when we first started the podcast, we had like these questions that we wanted to ask people as like, hey, like A, B, C, D, and get into kind of like more tactical stuff. And like episode 2, Steve was like, so like, well, like 1 minute in, Steve's like, whoop.
We're not doing those questions anymore.
Yeah, I think I'll go tactical though, because I think my social media is my thing, and I haven't really talked about that much. And you talked about, building community, which is something that I've been really good at. I've had success in is building community. And, I think agents don't realize how much opportunity there is in being the community builder, and how much opportunity there is in having a Facebook group just for your clients, right? One singular place on Facebook where you can just love on your clients. And that's what we do. I love the Starbucks gift card. It's just so easy to do.
So
You go on the app, you buy a barcode, you put $200 on it, or Katie probably needs $500 to get her whole SOI. But whatever you need, right? You just stick a couple $100 on there. You can drop it in the Facebook group, right? And say, hey, you guys, especially mark this down. Whenever pumpkin spice lattes come out, you hit them on day one. I'm serious. You hit them on day one and you say, hey, pumpkin spice lattes are here. Go get one on me. Okay. Everybody is a basic white bee, and they're going to take their picture with the pumpkin spice latte, and they're going to tag you and be like, my realtor got me pumpkin spice latte, whatever.
On day one.
Yeah. But when you can post that barcode and you can have people commenting, hey, thanks for my coffee, all that other stuff. It's amazing. It's like level 1 million engagement. Like, you can't get any better than that. But the other thing is too, is you're building that community. You've got people in there. You're loving on them. When the real magic happens is when your clients start to build community within themselves, right? Like when, especially when you have relo clients and people moving into your market and they're making friends in your group, and you are now the community builder of your sphere. And that is just, I don't know. It's like building we talk about lead pillars. That's like the deepest foundation lead pillar you can have, is when you've built that community within your clients.
So sorry, I was a little distracted there for a minute because I was looking something up here.
Were you looking at my pumpkin spice latte
There
picture?
we go.
Yeah. Oh, you are.
There,
Look at that.
there he is. What was weird was that, like, normally people for these types of things, they do like a lifestyle photo shoot or like whatever. And like Tim already had this picture in his camera roll. And all of these clothes. They're not
one of the Jonas Brothers.
You're right. This was day one when the PSLs came out, but this is because Pon had got me the shirt and the scarf last year, and we missed it, and so this year we were ready to go.
581 reactions.
I remember this picture when you said pumpkin spice. I was like, oh, there was a picture of this last year. I'm so happy you found it.
So, but the thing is, I didn't just send people a barcode. We went into Canva and we created a custom one with this picture, right? And so it was like, get a coffee from your favorite basic bee, and it had this, and then it had the barcode. So like we customized the barcode, and it makes it way better. So people roll up to Starbucks with this barcode with this picture of me on there. It's pretty good.
You're so pretty. I like, man. What a photo.
We're gonna make t-shirts.
Spending too much time on this.
Ooh, are we gonna make t-shirts with this on it for Summit?
I want Tim Macy on the front with the tie, his first year in real estate, and then on the back, I want the pumpkin spice latte picture. I want to make pictures.
It's like one of those memes of like first showing, like you know, and then once you and your client know each other, like 10th showing, it's like first showing Tim in a suit, 10th showing.
So Tim, let's stay on the the arena of social media. Like, so many agents keep talking about, like, what do I do in social media? I don't know what to say. I don't know what to produce. Like, help me. And because of that, they don't even start. What advice would you give to someone who's like, I know social media is important, I know video is important, but what do I do? What do I do?
One big thing that I've been harping on a lot lately, because we do our calls with our agents, and I'm talking about social media in front of people, and I'm giving them like a million ideas, right? It's like, hey, this is how you do Instagram. This is how you should do Instagram stories. This is what works on Facebook. This is what works on YouTube. This is what works on TikTok, right? The fact of the matter is, you make no money if you dabble in them, right? You only do well in the things that you master. And so Jeremy Knight, right, who I think most of us know here, that dude is going to do 40 million this year from YouTube alone. The business opportunities he's got from his YouTube channel, unbelievable. The dude is not on Facebook, not on Instagram, not until right? Like his website sucks, like all the things, but it doesn't
Times New
matter,
Roman font 42, you know,
right? Because he mastered YouTube.
Mm.
And that's the thing, especially on YouTube. The other ones you can kind of dabble and do okay. But if you're going to do YouTube, you have to master it, focus on it, and just do that. Don't get distracted. And I think that's the way it is on most things. I think most agents try to do too many of the platforms without mastering any of them.
Mm.
Like I think you could really build a great following on, I mean, for me, example, like most of my stuff's on Facebook. I love how like figuring out how to work the algorithm and how to engage and comment with people and whatnot.
break
And
the
now that I
internet.
have that, like I can bring that over to Instagram, you know. But yeah, I think you should focus on one first, figure out how to master that one, and then try to use it to upgrade your other platforms.
Yeah.
So it's about defining kind of like, or identifying who you are first, based on that, then navigating on a particular platform.
Yeah, I'll give you some tactical. So tactical, if you're in a new market, like I was starting out and you don't know anybody, know nothing, I would go all in on YouTube. YouTube does not require sphere of influence. The algorithm's going to do its thing, and YouTube and Google will find an audience for you. If you have a big sphere of influence, Facebook is the best place to engage the sphere of influence you already have. And so if you have a big audience, by all means, do Facebook. Instagram is somewhat in the middle. It's a little more discoverable, right? That's what I like to think of. YouTube is a place all you get is discovery. You don't want your friend subscribing to your YouTube channel about real estate. All you get is discovery on YouTube. Facebook, nobody is like randomly stumbling across you on Facebook. There's no discoverability on Facebook.
Yeah.
It's all just people you know.
Yeah.
Instagram's in the middle, right? Hashtags and some other stuff. You can organically grow your Instagram and also be in front of the people you know. And so kind of with that in mind, maybe that'll help you out, figure out what avenue you should take.
What's your take on TikTok?
TikTok, this is how we rock. Throw your hands in the air. I don't know if you guys remember that track, but TikTok is, I would say TikTok is likely still the place with the largest opportunity for organic reach. So like if you're going to go viral on any platform, TikTok's probably where you have the highest likelihood of doing it. Instagram Reels, I think a week ago was, but I think they're pulling back on that a little bit just from my observation. Right, Katie, you know what I'm talking about? Like Instagram Reels, they were pouring on it.
Oh, it was crazy. You would post a reel with like nothing in it and it would get like 1,000 views.
It feels like they're pulling back on the Reels a little bit.
Well, I think because there's adoption, right? Everyone started doing it and everyone's watching them to see what everyone else is doing. So now they're like, all right, we got them hooked. Let's now bring out the next feature, you know?
Yeah. And so I think stories were underutilized for a long time, right? And so I maybe a year ago, 2 years, I'm not good with my timeline, but like a year or two ago, it's like, hey, get on stories. Stories is going to be the thing. And now when you think about it, how much of your time on Instagram are you spending on stories?
So much,
right? Like so many people are just on stories. They're not even scrolling through posts. And I think the same thing is coming with short form vertical video just in general. I think TikTok took off. So now you have Instagram Reels. Now you have YouTube Shorts. I think figuring out how to do short form vertical video is the best organic social media exposure opportunity there is right now. Because the same way stories is a little bit of an art, getting people to engage with it, like your timing, like showing Katie working out for the umpteenth millionth time, and then like a house and figuring out how to keep people engaged with your stories. There's an art to it, and people that have figured it out have done really well. Like Taya, she crushes it on stories. It's the same thing with short form video. You got to get in there. You got to play with it. You got to figure out how to make it work because it's not straightforward. You're like, oh, I did this thing. And that's the thing with TikTok. It is unforgiving. If you make a crappy video and you put it on TikTok, nobody will see it. You'll be like, I got 2 views. And then all of a sudden you put a video up there like, Steven's out. He's looking at a house. cat jumps out of the cupboard, scares him, and he's got like 5 million views.
Yeah.
You know, like it's
seems like new property video.
Hold on, wait. Cat out of cupboard jumping out at me.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
But you know, like mastering an art, like the art of stories or the art of the listing video, like mastering it will get you better results. And right now, mastering short form vertical video, I think, is the largest opportunity in the space to get great results.
Okay. That's good to know. I'm gonna make a note. Cat.
I told you guys get me yapping. I'll
cat. Amazing. Well, we're a little bit over time, so we're gonna end off with a question that stumps every single guest, and that is, Mr. Tim Macy, it is your last day on Earth. Not to go too dark. If you could choose a meal, either you cook it, have it made for you, or you go buy it, order it at a restaurant.
Yeah.
What is that meal? Your last meal on Earth?
It's an easy question. It's
Oh.
Pepe's White Clam Pizza in New Haven, Connecticut, and
Wow.
and then a milkshake from Buttonwood Creamery, also in Podunk, Connecticut.
Whoa.
White Clam Pizza from
Okay.
Pepe's.
Wow.
Huh.
Yeah.
I like that there was no hesitation.
I know. I was just going to say no hesitation. Every guest is like, "Whoa, oh, geez."
I don't know if that's an issue. Maybe I have a unhealthy relationship with food. I don't know.
Again, we don't have enough time for that.
No such thing. No such thing. No such thing. Amazing. Well, Tim, we just want to say thank you so much for imparting all of your wisdom, your knowledge, your tactical advice, most importantly, just your kick-ass personality. There's a reason why you are so successful on all fronts of your life. Husband, father, friend, realtor, team lead, you name it, you are living it. So we just want to say thank you so much again for all of your incredible time. And if you don't follow Tim Macy, where do you exist in this wonderful world of social media?
Man, hit me on the gram. You know, I gotta get the gram going a little bit. I've got 5,000 friends on Facebook. It's polluted. You know, people DM me on Facebook and it's just down the rabbit hole. But get me on the gram. The gram's the best place to connect with me.
And it's at Tim Macy, right?
At Tim Macy Realtor.
Realtor.
Yeah.
Perfect.
The gram is Instagram. If you didn't catch this line. Yeah. I'm a dad, you know what I mean?
And that's why Steve and Kim is laughing so hard right now. That's why Steve is laughing so hard.
I love it. Amazing.
So we got this. I'm gonna slip a dad joke in. It's the end of your podcast, anyways. Everybody's tuned out.
Sarah, please cut this out when you're post edit.
No.
So we're moving and we're taking all these pictures down and whatnot. And Alice is crying this morning. She's like, "Dad, the picture's back up," and it's this picture of an alpaca. You know, and for some reason it freaks her out. And so I, trying to teach her to be brave, I look at the alpaca and I'm like, "You got a problem, alpaca? You got a problem?" And, just trying to, and I was like, "I'll pack a foot in your ass." That's pretty funny, right? Alpaca.
Yeah, no, I get where you're going with that one.
Yeah, that was my dad joke. But no, I love being a dad. We're going out to dinner to this nice French place they just opened up. I love spoiling my family. It's called Chic Filet. It's great. And we're gonna have a good time.
Oh, I can't wait to see you in Dallas, my friend. It's gonna be a ham. It's gonna be a ham. I love it. Well, thanks again, Tim, for all of your time. We wish you all the best. Was that Ray?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yikes, Tim.
Has Ray been on? When's Ray coming on?
We'll get him on soon.
We'll get him on.
We gotta
get him on first. We want.
I like it. Make it happen.
Once you have the beard on, then
Yeah, you guys all have to have beards for that episode.
Done.
Just get like fake ones on Amazon.
Yeah, we'll have to figure that out.
Yeah.
All right, Tim Macy, thank you so much for your time. It was absolutely wonderful catching up with you and
so good.
all of the knowledge and facts you had to share. So we really appreciate it and appreciate you.
All right, we'll see you on the next one.
Thanks, Tim.